Hi guys, it's Amber and welcome to the Raising a Challenging Child video series. This is basically just a video diary of our experiences raising our son, and this is video 2. So if you have not seen video 1 yet, please go and check that out first and then come back to this video. The last time that we left off, we had just discovered that the reason Glenn had lost so much weight was due to a heart murmur, or something that was causing a heart murmur. And to find out what that was, we needed to get some imaging done. And the first imaging that we got done was an ultrasound, which Glenn hated. It was so uncomfortable for him. Basically, they took the ultrasound wand and put it right over his trachea to try to get around inside his neck and look down at his heart. And the other one that we got was an MRI, which was fine, but the anesthesia can be a little bit scary if you've never experienced that before. Basically, your baby is talking with you and playing, and then all of a sudden they are asleep, and it looks a little bit like passing out or fainting, so a little bit scary for a new mom. And with the imaging, what they found was that Glenn's aorta had a narrowing, so it had not really been growing with him as he got bigger, and they had to repair it by going in through the front of his chest cavity, cutting open the aorta, and mending the vessel with a pig intestines matrix, which is actually a really cool thing. Basically, once they get it in there and it's been a couple of months, all of the matrix looks like Glenn's own cells. And despite the hospital being so wonderful to us and having such a wonderful medical team, and our family being amazing and supportive, it was still a really dark time in my life. Leading up to the surgery, I just remember being so full of sorrow and anger, and there was one day I basically just had an adult's version of a tantrum, and I just laid in my bed screaming and crying and kicking, and I just felt so betrayed by God and the universe that such a terrible thing would happen to my son. I mentioned already that the hospital was so wonderful to us, but as part of their liability coverage, we had to sign a document stating that we understood that Glenn, our 1-year-old baby, could die from the surgery. And obviously obviously not having the surgery done wasn't a choice for his health either. They set the surgery to be at Dornbecker's Children's Hospital in Portland, Oregon, which is a wonderful facility with very friendly staff. They treated us really well, and we couldn't be happier with how everything went. The surgery was scheduled for when he was 18 months old, which, as I said in the other video, we first started to see the issues at 11 months, and by the time that he had gotten to 18 months and did the surgery, he had gotten down to the first percentile in weight. And then the big day came, and we had all of our family waiting for us at the hospital, which was amazing, and I cannot imagine having done it without them, so thank you. And the surgery took somewhere between 3 and 5 hours. Honestly, I don't remember how long it took because I was trying to distract myself so hard by basically pacing and pretending to read and chatting with my family. So I was just trying to make that time go as fast as possible and not pay attention to it. The surgery went really great though, and almost right away we had permission to go see him in small groups, which I was leading. So I would go in and I would go back to the waiting room with them and get some more family members and then go back in. And the first 3 times that I came into his room, I just lost it because he looked like a hot mess, honestly. His scar was the whole length of his tiny little chest cavity, and he had tubes coming out of his mouth, out of his neck, and 3 coming out of his stomach, and he was still unconscious from the anesthesia, so he hadn't even woken up yet, which they said that, you know, when you're put onto the machine and it's pumping the heart or pumping the blood for your body instead, there's a chance that you don't wake up from that. And then when he did wake up, he was super thirsty, and as a mom, you're like, he just went through this horrible thing and he made it through, and now I just want to give him everything, anything that he could ask for. And the doctor said he couldn't have the water right away, and he could just have like this little toothbrush that was letting out this little triplets of water, and it was making him so angry. And that was hard too. I don't know, I would have given him whatever he wanted at that point. Glenn's recovery was remarkably fast. We had just a tiny bump in the very beginning by some misinformation or just forgetfulness. We were not told that there was any particular way we were supposed to lift him when we finally got the chance to pick him up, and I ended up hurting his little chest, which I felt so bad, like the worst mom ever. Like, obviously he's just had chest surgery. Why would you pick him up from there? I don't know, they didn't tell me to do anything differently. But by day 2, he was walking around the hospital, and on day 3, he was discharged. So it took him 3 days to get over the heart surgery, and it is 8 years later, and I am still trying to get over it. My heart still hurts from all the pain of that situation. Excuse me. Right now, he just gets yearly checkups, and that portion of his heart, the aorta, looks just like any other child his age. It's growing fantastic with him, good grief. It's his heart. It's going fantastic with him, and we have been told that there are chances that as he grows and goes through puberty that will not always be the case, and he could possibly have surgery again. And he does have other heart conditions, such as a bicuspid valve and a PFO, which is basically like a hole in your atrium. But I guess that those things are much more common than the narrowing aorta, and a lot of people don't even really realize that they have them until they're grown-ups. So doctors are basically telling us not to worry too much about those things right now. The biggest thing that we have been working on with his health is his weight. So it's been, 7.5 years, and we are still struggling to get him into a healthy weight so that he has some amount of body fat on his body. But he keeps up with other kids, and he feels great when he plays, so that's all that really matters, right? This is going to be the end of this video, but in the next video, I'm going to kind of talk about his early years in school and trying to be an advocate for him when things just didn't seem like they were going quite right. And it's kind of like the beginning stages of his diagnosis of ADHD. So if you could please subscribe to our channel, and even if you'd like to, you can click on the little bell and it will tell you when we upload new videos. We do try to have a little bit of fun on this channel with the kids and doing some gaming, but you will get notifications when the next video is up for this series as well. So please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!